Welcome back to What's Kenner French Thinking. I am Elaine Mingus, your co-host of this AI podcast, and we're going to be talking today to Kenner about some of the changes that are going to be happening around here. We have some name changes, we have some web address changes, changes with the podcast and how it's all set up. So, Kenner, can you tell us a little bit about what is going on with What's Kenner French Thinking and Vast Solutions?
We are going to be a media company if you really think about it. Sure, we're going to do our, at vastsolutionsgroup.com, we're going to be doing our tax, finance, and artificial intelligence stuff we've been doing for years. But now we're also becoming a media company. We want to have an interesting website. That's the best way to say it. We want to have an interesting website. So, if people go to wkft.ai, again, wkft.ai, they're going to see value added information, free, by the way, free information that's going to be on, presented by a bunch of our media partners. It's going to be basically Monday, right now as we speak, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's going to be information, different time slots, anywhere from 9 o'clock all the way to 5 o'clock. Each different, let's say, media personality is giving us information that will help an entrepreneur. Now, that's the bottom line. We want to help entrepreneurs, and we want it to be interesting, and we want to be different. So kind of all those things combined, you're going to find that at wkft.ai, and that's our media arm at vastsolutionsgroup.com. By the way, who am I? I'm an author. ModernMillions.ai wrote a book, #1 bestseller in Amazon, the entrepreneurship category. How to make millions, save millions, and protect millions, all with the use of artificial intelligence. We just want to be, kind of an interesting partner, if you will, to the audience out there that would be entrepreneurs all over the country.
And if you are struggling with that acronym, it's actually the acronym for What's Kenner French Thinking
Exactly.
AI. I know it might seem obvious to some people, but it's sometimes you gotta spell it out there literally. And so definitely check that out. And so there's going to be, I mean, you have the podcast set up. You're going to, what else is on the website?
Wow. So we're going to have a bunch of, as we call them, media partners. So people who are going to be adding value, to people in the entrepreneur space and the AI space and the finance space. I live on Bainbridge Island, so we're going to have one day specifically for Bainbridge Island residents. They're going to get news on there. They're going to get real estate news, basically news that's going to help a Bainbridge Island resident. So, in general, we just want it to be fun, helping entrepreneurs all over the country, maybe even some for some of our Canadian friends. It's going to be a fun spot to go for information that's going to help entrepreneurs. I don't think there's enough kind of fun spots, different spots to go for entrepreneurs. And I think this is going to be unique in that regard. And it's going to help you, the entrepreneur.
Yeah. So you're kind of, when you say media company, I mean, is it like you're talking about like almost like a publishing company, like where you have different things for everybody? I mean, what do you mean by media company when you're saying that? Because I mean, I think that's a pretty broad term.
Very good point. So, as an example, one of the hours is going to be we're going to get some video from my friend Patel, well-known marketer guy, right? He's into AI now. That's his big thing, right? So we're going to get an hour slot. I think his is going to be on Monday West Coast time, Pacific, on Mondays at 9 o'clock, and he's going to give us information that's going to help an entrepreneur on a weekly basis. So if it all comes to fruition, 9 o'clock per week on Mondays, he's going to be giving us a video that's going to help add value to entrepreneurs. So that's just one example. What's another example? On Bainbridge Island, we're going to have a Bainbridge Island Minute, where we're going to be talking about issues confronting or potentially impacting Bainbridge Island entrepreneurs. Or another one where it's going to be only AI. It's going to be I think we're going to call it AI. I like this one, AI all the time, and it's going to be a 1 hour block, actually every day. That one's going to be every day, where we're just talking about artificial intelligence and how an entrepreneur can take advantage of artificial intelligence and use it in their business, hopefully to succeed and maybe even become 10 times richer. So those are just a couple of little things, little snippets that are indicating we're doing things that are different. We're going to be doing things that are interesting and hopefully that can add value to the entrepreneur. How many people, are getting weekly commentary from a big name marketer, like Neil Patel. By the way, I'm going to throw out a couple other things. There's this lady named Elaine Mingus. She's going to have a time block on there. We're going to be talking about issues of the day that would be helping people in general, entrepreneurs that want to take their business to the next level. So in every time block, it's going to be something that's going to help an entrepreneur. I'm going to tell you one more thing. What I wanted to do with this is I have a lot of interest, and I wanted to do something, me as an entrepreneur, that can, look at mass different things that are of interest. And hopefully some of the things that are interesting to me will be interesting to some of the entrepreneurs out there. We're going to have a little thing on fantasy football as an example. How many people are interested in fantasy football? A lot. So we're going to have a little thing on that. There's a tie-in with artificial intelligence there, as a matter of fact. We're going to have a tie-in with taxes, AI and taxes. So there's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be interesting, as I mentioned, different, and it's going to help entrepreneurs.
So tell me about, like, is there going to be someplace like a community space where people that are on the website can maybe connect with other entrepreneurs across the country?
Wow, I love you, Elaine. Killer question. Nice work. So yeah, if people want to get involved as a community, we have a sub community here. We call it Vast Vault. Again, Vast Vault, where we have over 1,100 people who are talking about issues of the day that can impact them. Hopefully, people are going to be so interested in the media arm that they're going to want to congregate and chat virtually about some of the things that are going on in the media arm. Again, wkft.ai. And then, yeah, it's specifically for them, people who want to be a part of a community, who are having fun in on our media arm, also are going to want to chat about other things that are going to be interesting. And the thought is that group, hopefully, is going to be coming together and collaborating in ways to grow their businesses. So who knows, maybe, out of that little community, someone's going to end up starting the next Google. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, and tell me, there has been already some things that happen within the community that have been really interesting, some
Oh, yeah.
connections being made. Kind of talk about, you know, some of the things that have already happened for people who maybe have never heard of you or have never been to the website.
Yeah. So we started that community about a year ago, year and a half ago, and I'm blown away by how many deals I've heard have occurred in that community. Again, we call it the Vows Vault. There's a couple different levels. There's a free version where I think we have 2,000 people, 200 people, and then the paid one, I think it's 800, and then the highest one, it's relatively brand new. We only have a few people in there. So anyway, you could get in whichever kind of suits your fancy. You can go in the free one where there's a medium amount, I'll say a medium amount of content, and the one that's paid, there's a heck of a lot of content, and the higher one is there's tons and tons and tons and tons of content. But what I would say is what's happening is, and we're seeing it live, people are communicating, meeting one another, and you might have one guy or girl who has money and one guy or girl who doesn't have money, who wants, let's say, a real estate deal, and they're collaborating and potentially getting deals done in those communities. And it's totally cool to hear that because, well, think about it. If people are having fun in our big community, meaning watching the media arm, and all of a sudden, well, wait a minute, they're hanging out together in the vast vault. Hopefully, they have some similar interests. They're probably entrepreneurs, real estate investors, solopreneurs, or whatever. And if they're doing deals together, it makes the community that much more powerful. So I'm all excited about that. The community's been around for a year. The website wkft.ai is new, but I think great things are going to happen from that. Actually, not I think, I know great things are going to happen from that.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that's great when people come together is great ideas are formed. And, somebody that, like you said, doesn't have money might have a great idea, and somebody that does have money might be lacking ideas, but, they want to be involved in something interesting, and they might even not realize that some potential business idea exists, and it could get them really fired up and, just create a whole great synergy. So I love that. Tell me, how much AI have you used in actually building out the idea for this website, for the actual website? Is there going to be AI bots on the website for chatting? How is AI involved in the actual creation of this new media company?
Uh, you're gonna laugh. You're really gonna laugh. So I started an AI employee named Tiffany. I don't know. Any-
It's a good
anyway,
name, good
yeah,
solid name.
I don't even. Every single thing with respect to that media arm is really run by AI. All the employees are AI on that side. I've personally done it, by the way. That shows you could start a media arm all on your own with AI. Every single thing
Wow.
is run by, yeah, it's trippy. The idea was AI. The time blocks were AI for the most part. I've changed a few things. Everything with that is AI. So the backbone of it is artificial intelligence. And by the way, that's working in real time. If I could put it together, something as kind of as complex as a media arm, there's entrepreneurs out there that should be able to do the same thing in whatever their industry is. So think about that. So you're going to be able to see by watching this by watching this endeavor, again, wkft.ai, you're going to see in live time, real time, what it's like to build a business based on artificial intelligence. Because, by the way, what I'm doing first is starting the media arm. What's right now, we have a couple of sponsors, but what's going to happen is it's going to be, it's gonna be a profitable endeavor based on people who are gonna pay to have those time slots down the road. We're gonna have sponsors down the road. We're gonna have a couple other channels that are gonna pop up on that media arm that people are gonna pay for. So I mean, people are gonna be able to see what it's like to start an endeavor from scratch based on artificial intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. On my own personal stuff, which I will have a part in the podcast. We're going to be kind of entering into like the female entrepreneurship and things that
Mhm.
maybe we deal with that our male counterparts don't deal with. So definitely tune into that. But on my side, I'm making a similar-ish company and definitely using AI. I want to hear from you about, because I know that I've had, as I'm building with AI, and really kind of in its, the ChatGPT infancy stage we're still in. I found that I've had to continue to train my GPTs, my employees, as you call them, and it's been slightly frustrating. What are some of the frustrating things that you are seeing when you're building with AI that maybe you're like, man, give it 5 years and this is going to be a lot easier, but that you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get frustrated all the time. I don't understand why certain things aren't done already, man. AI still upsets me. But what I would say is, it's the worst it's ever going to be now. I think you and I have
Mhm.
talked about that. Just think,
Yeah.
in a year, 2 years, 3 years, AI is going to be that much better. Remember, it's still brand new. The modern AI is totally, totally brand new. Just a few years old. What I would say is, just think what it's going to be like. Like, don't be constrained by anything other than your imagination, because it's only gonna get better. And the way I'm looking is set stuff up now, because in the future, you're gonna be able to scale it and modulate it so it's that much better down the road. I get frustrated. Just last night, I was trying to put together another AI employee, and I was getting frustrated. But I know down the road in a couple weeks, whatever, a year, it's gonna be that much better. That's a whole nother episode. I'd love to talk about that, like AI agents and how frustrating it could be. But I know that, down the road, it's gonna be a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, I am training my own, content creation,
Yeah.
SEO article, GPT right now, and, and getting it right and making it not, sound like something that I would write as a person that graduated with a journalism degree has been frustrating because, at some point, AI will kind of revert to its normal AI behavior, and you're like, "No, no, 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 remember the GPT, remember the rules that
Yeah.
I put in," and that's where I'm getting frustrated because it seems to have some sort of like kind of a memory loss. So you have to keep resetting it and keep resetting it. But I mean, I guess that's like all good technology at some point, when you're probably when new computers, you have to like turn it on, turn it back, turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. And so we're kind of dealing with some of those frustrations here early on. But being an early adopter, as I always say, is best because then you get to see not only the evolution of it, but you get to train it and be involved in the ground level where you're learning when everybody else is still kind of sleeping on this. So definitely don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on the What's Kind of French Thinking website. I'm not going to say the acronym. I'll let him do that. And then and check out that community. Check out those podcasts. All the different ones that we have. And is there, just out of curiosity, if somebody's out there listening, I mean, should it, and they're like an AI expert, what can they contact you? Like, are they potential are you looking for podcast guests? I'm kind of throwing you out in the
I like
open
that. I
here.
like that you're doing that. Yeah, I mean, 100%, because we're always looking for interesting guests, people who, would be fun to, open them, whatever they're talking about, to our audience. Because if our audience could somehow benefit from what someone's doing out there, I don't care if it's AI, real estate, tax, finance, I'm more than happy to talk to them, because I think, especially if it helps them too, by the way. Because if I can help them grow their business, that's that much more beneficial for everyone. So yes, the answer to that is, I'd love to chat with anyone.
Yeah, and apparently no topic is off topic because I do pageants and I use AI in pageantry. So that's another wild ride. So whatever expertise you have, if you can slide an AI along with it, we want to hear about it. So come in and check us out, and then also join us in our next podcast where we are going to ask Kenner, what are you thinking? Join us next time.